to the last edition of the year of 2023 of Props to Consider and Then Maybe Bet. I am your host. I am the paragon of virtue. I am Lou Betya, back with a very special treat for myself and you guys, the unwashed masses of the YouTube audience. I am joined by the entire family of the MMA engine. I am joined by Monk, Weezy, and Brady. Weezy and Brady, this is their third time on the show, if I'm not mistaken. Monk, I've never worked with you before, so this will be cool. It should be fun.
Yeah, it should be good. I'm looking forward to talking with you, man.
So, Monk, I will start with you since this is a little bit out of your comfort zone of what you usually do for content. How did it feel cooking up props?
Felt great, man. For those that don't know, I'm looking forward to doing gambling content in 2024. So this is what I consider my first little dip in the toe in with you gentlemen on this one. So I really appreciate the opportunity. It was actually a lot of fun. Made me think differently than I'm usually thinking about fights on a Thursday for the most part.
That's awesome. Weezy, I will get to you next, or Uncle Weezy, Munkle and Uncle Weezy, if I may.
You may.
As always, I watch Weezy's content. I want to know who the ass shaving of the week is. Like, I need to know. But Weezy, how are you feeling on this card from a prop perspective?
I've just, let's see, in the last couple of hours since Bet Rivers kind of opened up all their props, I've placed 5 bets that are all prop bets in the last hour or so, and I've also done a couple before that. So, and I was just filling in all the lines on my prop template, and I'm like, ooh, I like that. Ooh, I like that. So, yeah, man, there's a lot of prop stuff sticking out. I was waiting for them to open because, you know, sometimes on Bet Online, you'll see props that you like, but you know, if you just wait a couple of days, you'll probably get a much better number on Bet Rivers or DraftKings or FanDuel. So I waited, and the patience paid off. And I'm looking to drop some props on your asses here today and make some money. I'm looking to bet big. Let's go.
Much like King Kong Bundy, you demanded a 5 count for your props. Weezy is the only person that understands my wrestling references for the most part. And last but not least, the new father of the community. A hearty congratulations on air to my friend Brady. DFS by the numbers. The big question that everybody wants to know, how many of the props did you steal from your newborn child for this show?
All of them.
Smart.
All of them. And I think it's going to work out. It's going to work out.
Because Brady will never brag because he's not like that. None of us at this channel are. I would like to say that all of us are having like a really good year betting wise, but Brady is like fucking crushing us with this. And he just has to not lose 97 units to
just 67. I can't lose 67 this card.
Can't go 6. I've had a bad last 2 weeks, but I'm going to end the year on a flourish. I hope. Either way, it's been a good year. And I have one other thing that's going to come up at the end of the show. That's not about betting units in my income, but betting units on a show on Saturday. That's going to mean the world to me to win this competition. But if you guys are tuning in, whether it's live, post-show, thank you guys so much for spending your time with us. Shout out to the chat. We got Chronic Combat, the boys. They had Lucrative on last night. That was a fun show. We got my guy for you, UFC bet picks here. We got Glenbot. Always tells me we never make shows at a convenient time because he's a few hours ahead in Scotland. Well, shut up, because I even said this is convenient for you. We got Mushroom saying hello to every single one at the same time. We got Bob Spikermans. Definitely know him from all the Weezy shows. He shows up here too. We got Sam Rothstein chiming in. We got Moyes, my guy Moyes. Lou lost 10 units on table tennis. That was this morning. That was not the last 2 weeks. Well, dude, the guy's name was Ping Pong.
Oh,
gosh. I mean, I don't care. He's plus 550. Look, Monk and I have been watching this ridiculous.
Ping Pong.
Monk and I have been watching Idaho air hockey on Mondays. There's like a YouTube. It's a channel. And like nobody's in that chat other than like the dude's moms. So we come in, I'm like, what's up? And they're like, Lou, oh my God, it's a human being. And what's the dude's name, Monk? The Belgian Bull?
The Belgian Bull. I forget his real name because who cares? His nickname is the Belgian Bull.
Dude, they wear jerseys. They got a ref with like his hair's got like 3 colors. After every game, they get a beer. It's fucking great.
One wears eye makeup. Fantastic.
It's tremendous. 4 hose is the perfect amount of hose. Well, speaking of that. The one fight that we will not break down is anything involving Luke, because the one fight's canceled. And now we don't know if Kevin Holland is coming in. Apparently, according to Twitter, he asked his wife and his girlfriend. They both said it's okay. That's the tweet. We will see if that fight happens. But if you watch it for the first time, we're going to do 5 props each. 3 for the 2 main events 3 other ones, and then we'll flourish with the yambag special. Monk, what is the first prop to consider, and then maybe bet for UFC 96, Edwards versus Covington?
Oh boy. Well, let's just get it started off hot. I talked yesterday on the Pub Sports Show with these two guys about how Martin Budai's getting hated on. He's going to fraud check the shit out of Shamil Gaziev, and I think it's going to be early. I love Martin Budai sub plus 550. We're getting crazy here. Martin Budai sub. I think this is a ground and pound situation. Shamil going to give up his back after he gasses out almost immediately, and that's just going to be it. I think this one's just going to end up on the ground, and somehow Budai is going to like the Terminator. Who is the guy he fought where he just blobbed himself under the door? That's going to be what Budai does. He's going to slither under, turn himself into Mercury or something. All that jelly just going to get behind the back, and he's going to choke out Shamil Gaziev. That's how I like this one. Plus 550. Yeah, if you like it round one, that's plus 1200. You could get a little, even crazier. So
Sam
we're gonna
Rothstein,
start off with Budai sub. Oh shit.
Yeah,
So maybe I won't get thrown off the show immediately.
round 2 does pay more.
Round 2 does pay more.
Certainly
I don't
makes
mind that. I mean, plus 16. Oh my god, though.
And we know that, and we know Brady is gonna.
Go.
Brady will blindly bet a toe hold submission.
There we go. So
yeah.
we'll start us off with that one. Martin Budai.
Nice. I will say that I am disappointed that when Blood Money posted his Shamil bet, that not one person said Shamil Shamazel. And then I realized that nobody understood what the hell I was talking about.
Yeah.
I'm like, my God, I'm old. Like, there's zero chance Brady knows the references. There's none.
So you could
no chance Brady
10
knows.
minutes to explain.
Weezy knows. Weezy
Sure,
knows the reference.
Weezy knows.
Shamil
Sorry,
Shamazel,
I was just hacking. I didn't even hear what the reference was.
Shamil Shamazel.
Oh, yeah. That's what is that? That's the Milwaukee Chicks.
Laverne and Shirley.
Yeah. God damn. Yeah.
But you knew.
The Milwaukee Brewers. Yeah. I mean, it
I
was
got Propaholic who's 8.
yeah, dude.
Saying
He's young.
Things, and I'm like,
Yeah. That show was off the air 20 years before he was born.
All right, Weezy, you are up on the program. What is your first prop to consider? And you've been here before, so no excuses for not winners.
I know that, dude. So this is something that I was just filling out the prop template with because we got a lot of props that dropped today. And something that I was looking to bet earlier in the week, but didn't have it available was fight does not start round 2 in the Menafield versus Jacoby fight. That's plus 235 right now on Bet Rivers Sportsbook. In Menafield and Jacoby's 21 combined UFC fights, 9 of them have ended in the very first round. That's a 42.86% of a 21 fight sample size. And the implied probability of the line or the price of the line is only 30.77%. Look, Jacoby, when he finishes fights, it's in the first. Somebody gets caught slipping, he lands a big counter and drops people. And it's the same thing with Menafield. Menafield's all bricked up with muscle. The guy's got pretty good cardio for a big dude, but obviously he's going to be a lot more front-loaded with that kind of explosivity, that kind of size, that kind of power. So I see if somebody gets served, I think it's going to be in the first round. So why not bet less to win just as much instead of playing, minus 200 on fight doesn't go to decision? Why not get plus 235 on both guys' best finish condition, which is round 1? So that's what I'm doing here. I've got 0.75 units on that. I got it as a tracked bet, and it makes a lot of sense on the numbers.
I love it, dude. And it's funny because I feel like a lot of it's predicated on the Menafield side. Like, if he just decides to kind of go for it, he's definitely got the power, and he's going to leave himself open to a guy who's a way more technical. Right. And Jacoby's a first round guy. Also, I know Jacoby's been pretty durable. Dude's been rocked a ton.
Yeah.
Like what was it? The Professional. What the hell was his name? The
Azamat.
Dude, he almost had him out of there in the first and the second round.
And the first and the second. Yeah, man. He had him in big trouble at the end of both of those rounds.
And I think Menafield hits harder than, plus all of a sudden he's a submission wizard.
Dude. That guillotine against Crute was nasty.
It was nasty. So
I thought he was going to yank his head off.
I think that's a really good look. That's a really good look. So, all right, Brady, What does Brady Jr. have to say about this card?
I'm gonna start out with like a little pussy bet, and I'm gonna kind of work my way up. So the first bet I'm gonna go with is Shavkat Rakhmonov by knockout at plus 300. And I was on the show with Weezy Stat Diggers on Sunday, and I was like, man, it's gonna be one of those fights where we're going to have to pick between Rakhmonov sub plus 110 or KO plus 130, but that's not the case here. We're getting plus 300 for a Rakhmonov KO, and it's not like this guy doesn't have knockouts. This guy has 17 wins, 8 of which come by knockout, 9 by submission. So it's kind of, I just feel like it should be a lot closer to that submission prop. Wonderboy obviously never been subbed. He has been knocked out once. And, Wonderboy's submission defense is pretty good. He was able to survive on the mat with Burns and Muhammad. And then I went back and watched that Muhammad fight. And Muhammad was like beating the crap out of Wonderboy on the mat. Like it looked like the ref was going to stop the fight multiple occasions in the Muhammad fight from below Muhammad's ground and pound. And I just thought to myself, man, Shavkat's ground and pound is like 10 times better. So could it be sub? Sure. But KO pays more and much, much more. The sub's like plus 120, plus 130, but the KO is plus 300. And I do like that quite a bit.
It's a good look. That's going to be a fun fight. So just anybody watching this, I'm doing this a little different because I have a full panel. I'm going to just try to do the props that these guys aren't going to cover. I'm going to try to pivot away from some fights. So I don't know what they picked. Did any of you guys have a prop for Brown Salakoff?
I do.
Damn it.
I'll let you go first though, because I have a bunch in the tank here.
Yeah, same.
Okay, well, Salakoff KO at plus 450 is hilarious to me. I know the narrative is like, oh man, Salakoff's old. Look, man, Dalby is the worst fucking guy that Salakoff could have faced. Like the pace, the durability, like you knew Salakoff was going to gas late. Well, he's not going to gas against Randy Brown because Randy Brown is not some like high volume explosive guy. Like uses his range, but he gets hurt. He kind of just wants to stay safe. If there's any grappling equity here, it's probably from Salakoff, although I don't expect him to go grappling heavy. Maybe just throw one in. Russian 39 is like American 30. Like, so this whole, like, he's 39 and he's old. It's like, it's fine. Like, the guys he's losing to and getting KO'd by, like, the Jung, like, dude hits really hard. Brown doesn't have that kind of explosive power. He's more like, when he gets finishes, it's more attritional. But he's not so high volume that I'm worried here, man. And, like, I know Brown hasn't been knocked out in the last few years. JDM hurt him and then subbed him, but the way he gets knocked is like meme shit. Like the Nico Price KO, don't tell me you've improved in these last 4 years. Nobody gets knocked out like that. And I just feel like Salakoff has a lot of ways in a low volume, low pace fight to extend his cardio. The dude's way more dangerous on the feet than Brown is, power wise. Maybe not technique, but even his technique's good. So again, gun to my head, I would pick Brown to win a decision. But I think plus 450 for Salakoff, who I'm not sure has decision equity unless he grapples a lot, is a solid number. So, and it's the first fight of a pay-per-view to end the year. They don't make these first fights of pay-per-views where they think it's going to go to decision. Like, they really want something explosive. I know it doesn't look like that on paper. You have a guy who's almost a 3-1 favorite who's not a big finisher. I think Salakoff can get him out of there, though. And I think he can get him out of there even if he's losing the first 11 minutes of the fight. So
I kind of like the under in that fight, the first fight of the night, under plus money. I don't mind it.
That's a great look. I just, to me, and I just think Salakoff's finishing equity is higher. That's not to say Brown doesn't have finishing equity, but I feel like Salakoff's power could play here. But that's my first one. Monk, it is your turn in the rotation.
All right. Well, I'm going to get a little boring, but I think this one's all right. I'm going in on the Aldana and Rosa fight, but I'm not picking a side. I'm picking it.
Check his papers.
I'm picking it to end in split decision, plus 300 here. Let's see. Yeah. For Irene Aldana, she's got 3 splits, I believe, in the UFC. All pretty close to each other. Raquel, Lucy Pudilova, and then Caitlin Chukagian. Carol Rosa has a few. She just split with Santos. She went majority with Lena Landsberg, and then Laura Procopio used to be her name. She went to a split as well. I know. It's hey, I gave you Boudet at the beginning. It was like
it's
a plus
staying
5.
Up your whole breakdown. I'm not taking it down until your breakdown's over.
Well, that's fine. It's about over. Aldana Rosa plus 300. This is going to be greasy, man. Aldana had one of the funniest finishes of all time, up kick to the liver. Can you believe it? Before that, she was getting murked by Macy Chiasson. So, yeah, this one's going to be boring. Split decision. It's got split written all over it, plus 300. Take that shit down, Lou.
I did take it down. I just replaced it. Yeah, that's a fight. Like we'll talk about that later tonight, you and I. But yeah, I'm not really excited about that one.
You want
Weezy,
fine. You want it better? Rosa by split plus 800. There you fuckers go.
Better.
There you fuckers go.
There you
Rosa
go.
by
Take
split
a stand.
plus 800. There you go.
Remember, you're just giving people things to consider. Oh, before I get to Weezy,
That's true.
I have to give Mellon the Happy Gilmore speech about Sean Brady. I feel like I owe this to Mellon for the Sean Brady Gaslam fight. So Mellon, here you go. You were right. I was wrong. You are attractive, whereas I am ugly. You are smart, whereas I am stupid. He nailed that one with Gaslam. Gaslam looked just, this is one of the worst bets I think I've made this year. Like in hindsight, it's the worst bet, but I'm like, no, Gaslam fixes takedown issues. No, this is fucking, that's what I get for going against Philly. That's what I got. Weezy, Weezy, you're up, man.
Okay, so I got something, you know, I was looking at the Ulanbekov Durden fight, and I was looking at Tagir Ulanbekov by submission. And then I looked at both guys, right? So Tagir Ulanbekov has one finish in the UFC, and that was a first round submission finish. Cody Durden has been submitted how many times here? I think it's at least twice, but was it 3 times in the UFC or just twice?
I think
Makayev for sure.
Yes. Makayev, first round submission. Jimmy Flick, first round submission. I love Tagir Ulanbekov's guillotine. So if Ulanbekov's only finish is by first round submission, and Cody Durden's lost twice in the UFC inside the distance, and they were both by first round submission, why not bet Tagir Ulanbekov to win by first round submission at plus 950 on Bet Rivers Sportsbook? You think your Uncle Weezy's passing on that shit? Nah, son, quarter unit, thinking about adding more. I'm flopping my balls menacingly here on the table and telling him I like this plus 950 number here. It's fat, like my cock, and I'm going to slap the bookies around with it on this plus 950 bet. You fucking heard it here first, bitches.
This is a Christian broadcast, Weezy. Just so you
No,
know.
it's not.
No, it's not. It's so funny you say that because, like, I know it took the second round against Hadley, but, like, he puts himself in bad spots even when he's winning the fight. Like, it's an interesting bet. Round almost 10-1. And any bet that's 10-1 in the first round, I will always bring back the best 10-1 bet of all time. And that is the legendary Guido Canetti by round one knockout against Matinho. The legendary bet. Shout out to Monk and I, to our buddy Tommy, who was like, if you don't bet that, we're never talking again. And then it hit. It's like, all right, great. All right, Brady, prop number 2.
It's like we're all targeting the same. I have 5 fights with props, and
I wrote 12 fights down. We're not all targeting the same shit.
I'm talking about for me. So I had Tagir by sub, but Weezy had to one up me, so I'm not even talking about that anymore. So that's off the table. Thanks, Weezy, for that. I do like that round one, by the way. But I'm going to go with a fight that Monk talked about, and I'm seeing it a little bit different than Monk. This is a spot that was for me like last week. I liked Jung Young Park round 2, round 3. My thinking was Muniz is front loaded. He has a terrible gas tank, terrible cardio. He's going to wither down the stretch. He's going to quit down the stretch, and that was not the case. And I lost money on that fight. But this is where I get it back, because Shamil Gaziev has no cardio at all. All of his wins come in the first round outside of one decision. And I feel like if this fight does reach the second round, these Budai props are just stupid prices. And I mean stupid. Budai round 2 plus 900, Budai round 3 plus 1,400. Like if this fight reaches the third round somehow, because Zeev's not going to be able to even get off the stool, they're going to like drag him out. He's going to be crawling on the ground. So I just feel like if this fight reaches the second, these props at these prices are going to be just extremely live. I'm also planning on maybe betting Shamil round 1. I feel like that's his win condition as well. So looking for Shamil early or Budai late. But these Budai late props, these prices really surprised me. I was not expecting anywhere near plus 1,400 for Budai round 3 prop.
There you go, man. I can't believe we've talked about this fight twice. This amazing opener. All right. So my next prop requires a 30-second story. Weezy or Brady, I'm sorry that I'm probably stealing this one from you, but we can share this one. We can share this one because you knew I was going to do this. So I lean Lipsky in the fight. However, last February, there was this glorious moment I almost had. I think Weezy was on air with the pub guys where I had a 2-leg parlay. I had Kyler Phillips round 3 submission and I had Casey O'Neill round 2 knockout against Roxy Modafferi. And Kyler Phillips, and I had him straight bet too, but Kyler Phillips round 3 submission hits at 35-1. I've missed the days of 35-1 round 3 props. We don't get this shit anymore unless it's like a Dontel Mays fight. But that hits, and I'm like, oh shit, I'm a round 2 KO away from like a massive fucking hit. And it never got close, like ever. Casey O'Neill, I know you're a fan of the channel like Chris Curtis is. So I'm just letting you know this right now. You owe me. You fucking owe me from 20 months ago. You owe me. Casey O'Neill to get a takedown in the second, ground and pound Lipsky, round 2 KO, 12-1. This is 100. I wish George Gennaro was here because this is a purely narrative fucking play. And I know he loves this.
Lou, I'm seeing 17-1.
Where?
Bet Rivers.
For who? For what?
For Casey O'Neill KO too. Is that what you said?
Oh, 17-1. Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay. This is why you run a best bet show. You can find the best prices. But O'Neill round 2 KO for me. 17-1. How you doing? Keep moving. All right, Monk. Third and final one before we get to the title fights.
Well, I'm excited for the title fights, and a couple have been taken off. Obviously, I had some of the Tajir sub as well. So that one is out the window there. I will not be flopping any cocks or balls out regarding that fight. So let's go back to the first fight just super quickly. I like Brown round 3 plus 900. You say that Russian 39 is regular people 30. Go look at this dude's fucking Tapology picture, dude. Was he an extra in a Charlie Chaplin flick? What is happening? Look at, was the man taking the photo underneath a black curtain? Because this dude, I mean, I don't know what era that picture is from, but that's insane. Yeah, Muslim Salikov, super hard to finish. This is the time, baby. He's getting worn down. Round 3, Randy Brown, plus 900. Look at that fucking picture, man. Jesus Christ. Is he eating like snow directly after this? Because that is all that was on the farm that day when the photographer came out. This shit is crazy, dude. What era is that? It's like the video where they're like, is that a cell phone? It's the black and white video. And they're like, is that Jay-Z with a cell phone in the background? That's what this picture looks like. Plus 900.
GCQ holding us accountable for our offbeat shenanigans on this goddamn show. Monk's tremendous. All right, Weezy, third and final prop for this card before we get to the co and main. And you're muted like a rookie. Like a fucking rookie.
Dude, my lungs are so full of snot right now that I'm coughing off sound on camera. Like this is like I'm gonna die over here. So yeah, I'm gonna be muted a few times probably today. But yeah, Budai round 3 and Budai round 2 was what I was gonna go with. You know, Brady just gave you guys that. Let me pull something off of the prop template here that I can find.
I'm glad that everybody tuned in for 3 props on the Budai Shamil fight.
Hey, man, you know, we got to take what they give us, baby. You know, we got to take what they give us. What about
Budai season? Like the kids say. That's what it is, baby. Let's go.
What else did I have bet? Let's see, because I gave you guys the... Oh, yeah, and the other props that I have are already on the main and the co-main. So pass me up for a second here.
All right, we will get back to Weezy. Brady, what is your third and final prop?
I'm running out of options here, but I will talk about something I like, and we're gonna go back to the Brown Salikov fight, I guess. So, like I said, I like the under first and foremost, but second of all, there's just some fights where you just see a path and you see it very clearly. Like what comes to mind is who was that guy that submitted Christos Giagos last fight? Oh, Zellhuber. Yeah, Zellhuber.
Yeah.
I saw it perfectly in my head. He hurts Giagos. Giagos shoots in for a takedown, and he snatches up his neck. And that's kind of what I'm feeling here. I went back and watched the Salikov and the Leach fight, and the Leach landed a big shot in the second round, and Salikov shot in on a sloppy takedown. And obviously, Leach does not have a submission game, but Brown does. Brown has some really long arms. He actually has 3 submissions in the UFC. He has a rear naked choke, a guillotine choke, and then another choke as well. But I feel like a club and sub is very live here on the Brown side because, like you said, Lou, Brown doesn't have a ton of power, but he could potentially hurt this guy. He could potentially sub this guy. I think the sub is live, but the only problem is they're giving us like crap prices, like terrible prices on these sub 2 and sub 3, which I think is maybe a sign. But I'm gonna wait for FanDuel. But on Bet Rivers, sub 2 1150, sub 3 1800. I'm thinking FanDuel's giving a much better price, but these prices right now kind of suck. But I see it so clearly that I still like it.
All right. Before we get to Weezy, Sam Rossi in the chat saying that 1400 for the Thompson KO is scary. I just typed this in, but I will say that I always get scared against Shavkat because when Alex Bahunin did that whole humanizing athletes with him, they said his favorite animal was a horse and his favorite food was horse meat. Yeah, I'm never betting against this guy, ever.
Nope.
That's called the system play. Never betting against the guy whose favorite animal is his favorite food.
Exactly.
Like, it's fucked up, man. Like,
That's
look,
in my spreadsheet.
I mean, I think lobsters are cool. I love eating them. That's not my favorite pet, but it's interesting. All right, Weezy, you got your third one?
Yeah, so there was something that actually kind of caught my eye because, like Stephen Thompson, right? And Melon JS just said it in there. Like they were saying Stephen Thompson KO plus 1400. I wouldn't do that because Shavkat's got a brick for a head. The dude's got a legit chin and crazy conditioning. So he's going to recover if he gets popped. And, Stephen Thompson doesn't have a killer instinct. Stephen Thompson's only chance is decision. Plus 850. You could throw a quarter unit on it and kind of hedge another bet that you might have. Like if you've got a Shavkat inside the distance bet or something like that, might be a nice hedge. Or if you think that Shavkat's wrestling isn't all that and that Stephen Thompson maintains range well, moves laterally well, and can keep this thing at distance striking range, he could potentially win a decision. Stephen Thompson by decision at plus 850. You might just be flushing your money down the toilet, but it'll be a quarter unit or less. So you can always take some, solace in that if you make that bet.
All right. All right, I'm going to pivot for my final one. I'm not going to spend much time on this one on the show. I'm going to take Brian Kelleher knockout at plus 420. First of all, it's 420. I know a lot of you that watch chat smoke weed, so like immediately just go rush to the window because it's plus 420. I mean, look, this is a terrible fight. It's a hilarious fight. It's a weird fight. It's like a Legends fight, except like sort of not really. And like it's still Garbrandt who, Brady and I were talking about this last night. We both had that sweet Garbrandt decision ticket against Trevin Jones. Everybody's booing, and we're like, let's go. We're like, no, make this. It's like the Malarkey decision. It's like, no. People booing like they get top time and do nothing in the third round. We're like, keep it up. Do not get up till the ref tells you, then right back down, bitch. So what do I worry about here? If Cody, I'm not worried about the 26 strikes he threw against Trevin Jones and still looked tired from like the minimal effort he put into grappling. Like, he got a takedown. He wasn't doing shit with it. Kelleher, he has a tendency maybe to not get up and like kind of fuck around his back too long. But like, this is another situation, like I said, with Salikov, where Kelleher could be losing the whole fight and land one shot and it's over. Like, I think Garbrandt's chin is that crappy, much like Cody Rhodes. I am not a fan of neck tattoos. I feel like they make your neck weak and it makes you snap back. I hate it. So I'm thinking that maybe Kelleher, and look, man, Kelleher's been through some real shitty luck with injuries and like canceled fights. And then like, oh, here's Batista. Like, come on, man. Like, don't give Brian Kelleher Mario Batista at the stage. Like, all this, this is the perfect fight.
How about
Kelleher.
Umar?
Like, right. Like, this is the kind of
Jeez.
fight. Like, this is kind of like a perfect matchup for both of them. Let's just fucking go, man. And also, I kind of just really hate Cody Garbrandt, man. Like, seeing him get knocked out brings me great pleasure. So why not make money off it? So small, and I already bet this. Kelleher KO plus 420. I'm not sure how he wins a decision here because I think if this goes the distance, it means Cody probably just grappled and controlled him for 2 rounds. And I might have to look at Kelleher round 3 here too. But anyway, that's all I got. We got some other people in the chat. Thank you so much. Jason, got Cody No Chin from Remdog. Of course, we got my boys are back. He's going to look like, well, damn it. I hate when he disagrees with me. I thought this was an act. And now with the Brady fight, it's fucking with my head. Like, he might be Cody Garbrandt. I don't know, man. But anyway, we have covered those. Now we're going to get to the co-main event, a rematch from forever ago, Pantoja against Royval. Monk, I'll stick with the order so I don't fucking forget. What's your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, we all know what happened in the first fight. Pantoja, I believe it was round 2. I don't know what has really gotten better. Royval gives up like a ton of time or a ton of inside the distance points, shall we say, when it comes to DraftKings. So he just gives up a ton of takedowns, ton of control time. Pantoja absolutely loves takedowns and control time, turns out. Also turns out he performs very well over 5 rounds, as we just saw. I don't like a lot of these numbers in these last 2 fights, especially the main event, but I did settle on a couple here. Pantoja by unanimous decision. If it gets that far, it's a bit risky. Plus 650. I don't mind that. I wish it was a little bit better. Yeah, it's probably going inside the distance. And in that case, the favorite one that I actually have, which I hate getting, too specific, but we finished round 2 last time. Let's go round 3 this time. Let's give Royval a little bit of credit. Pantoja round 3 sub plus 800. I don't mind that at all. So yeah, kind of boring, but kind of straightforward at the same time.
Plus 800 is not boring. Mine is going to be boring compared to that. Weezy, what do you got?
Pantoja inside the distance is definitely what I've been looking at the whole time. Like what Monk said, the way that Royval fights, he leaves openings. And when you leave openings, on a high-level grappler like Pantoja, and I don't even think he gets enough credit for how elite his Brazilian jiu-jitsu is. This guy's, you look at the guys that he's fought since he's been in the UFC, he's fought everybody, and he was the only guy who had 2 wins over the champion and Brandon Moreno before that fight. So everybody kind of knew if he got that shot, that he could have even been a favorite in that fight. And it wouldn't have bothered me. I wouldn't have said like, oh yeah, you got to be on Moreno here, because Moreno had lost to him twice already. And Royval, I really enjoy Brandon Royval's fights, but you got to remember, man, you can't be making mistakes and leaving openings for guys like Alexander Pantoja, especially when you're willing to give up your back. This guy's going for leg locks and shit. That you could get knocked out that way. You can get swept that way. You can just get put in really bad positions and give up your back. So I think Pantoja wins. I think he probably wins by submission, but I'm not betting the submission prop. I want Pantoja inside the distance as being, part of this. So I got minus 125, I think, right now on, minus 125 on Bet Online. It looks like minus 139 on Bet Rivers. And then the double chance is Pantoja inside the distance, minus 135. So we'll go minus 125. Pantoja inside the distance on Bet Online Sportsbook.
Yeah. I'm just going to go before Brady goes because I have the exact same thing that Weezy does. Like, I'm not playing around with this one. I do think the KO is possible. The only thing I want to add here is that, we're all guilty of having our favorite fighters to watch that aren't like elites. And you know why they're our favorite fighters? Because they have like really fun fights. Well, like Billy Q for me. You know what they all have in common? They have horrible defense. They're reckless. They have no regard for their physical safety. And I feel like Royval is, because everybody's like, man, Royval's so fun to watch. He is, because he's another guy with no regard for defense. And I see Melons bringing up like the Bontran split, which was like a weird fight. Dude, the fight after that with Matt Schnell. I mean, Schnell is like the most reckless fucking dude ever. So, like, that's like a perfect fight for Royval. Like, Pantoja's not a reckless guy. Like, he's patient. Like, you look at the first fight, it's like, everybody's like, oh, and then Pantoja just took his back. No, Pantoja was waiting to take his back. He knew it was there, and he was going to be patient, and he did it. And I honestly think it's kind of a matter of time in this fight, or God forbid, Royval is dumb enough to just want to screw around the ground immediately and get reversed. Like, I think Pantoja, there's another facet of this where it's like, well, you have a guy who just won the title, like he just hit the peak. Like, is this like a come down for him? No, dude. Like, he feels like he was delayed so many years to get this after the Moreno Figueiredo quadrilogy that now it's like his time. Like, now he's just ready. I think he punks Royval. I think it probably happens within 2 rounds, to be honest. Like, I don't think this fight goes that long because I don't know that Royval's durability is good. It's not even about cardio, and the last thing I will say is I don't like disagreeing with Mike's MMA picks, my hero, yours, anybody's, really. And Mike, who is like, has a crazy impeccable record at 125-pound fights in his life, is big on Royval. He got him at plus 205. He got it like when it opened. And Mike is not I track openers guy. Like, he knew that fight was going to happen. He pounced. He's like, well, man, Pantoja was about to break in that fight, and he was breaking against Moreno. I don't know, dude. He fought through 5 rounds against Brandon Moreno, who I think has a crazier pace than Royval does. So I don't think Royval's going to show him anything that he's never seen. I think it's only a matter of time before he gets him to the ground. And that might be all it takes. So love Pantoja in the distance. I don't want to screw around with the sub prop, even though I think that's what happens. I'd want a better price than 135, 140 range. I don't love that it's like, if you're giving me like sub plus 140 for Bo Nickel, I'll max bet it with all of your money, like all day. But I'm never doing like, I don't like that in a title fight. So, all right, Brady, what do you got for this one?
Yeah, not much to add. I don't know. I mean, I love violence here, but I mean, these prices are terrible. Like, even like Pantoja inside the distance, I like a lot. Minus 125, I don't love it. I'm just going with the under 2.5, minus 140. I think we get an early finish here. Both guys defensively irresponsible. I do think it's Pantoja sub, and I kind of think it's maybe even in the first round and a half here. So under 2.5, minus 140. But I don't know. They're all over. I mean, the fight doesn't go to decision is something before the odds came out. I was like, I'm going to max bet this. And then it comes out, it's like minus 550. I'm like, come on. So, yeah, I mean, I like violence, but they're all over it and much, much more.
You could parlay that with Aldana Rosa over 0.5 rounds if you really want to have a nice choose parlay there. But we will get to the main event. Let's go in reverse order here just to make it a little different. Brady gave Brady's been breaking down fights all week, and he's still got a few more shows to go after this. So let's go to the main event. Let's go to Colby Covington, Leon Edwards. Brady, what do you got?
I have a couple things. So I like Colby Covington in this fight, and I like him quite a bit, actually. And I'm going to have a couple bets here. So I like the money line for Colby. I like the decision line for Colby. And then I also like a split decision in general for this fight. It's plus 450, not the best price in the world for a split decision, but it is a fight that I think does go to decision more often than not. I don't really see Leon Edwards finishing Colby Covington. Maybe he does, but I lean towards no. And then Colby Covington's not really finishing anybody outside of Tyron Woodley, hurting his shoulder. So yeah, I think this fight does go 25 minutes. And I think it could be one of those fights where it's competitive. It's a fight where, Leon Edwards could potentially land a big shot, wobble Colby, maybe drop him. Colby's been dropped a lot in his past couple fights, but Colby goes out there and gets like 3-4 minutes of control time versus damage type situation. And then, I saw the judges that were judging this fight. It's like Sal D'Amato, like just terrible judges for this fight. See, I feel like we could definitely get some weird scorecards. We always do. It's a 5-round fight. These judges can't stay awake for longer than 10 minutes. So yeah, split decision plus 450. I'm thinking about maybe even like putting like a half unit on it, because I think this fight does go to decision more often than not. And I think it's, semi-competitive, but I do lean Colby, but fight split decision plus 450 is kind of what I like here for this fight.
Got my guy, Big Steve. Check out his show he did with Brandon Olivas yesterday. Or Olivas was sassing him, and Big Steve sassed him way back way back.
Oh, I got to watch that
It
then.
was tremendous. Never sass Big Steve on
No.
air. It's, it's a lesson learned. All right, Weezy, how about you next?
Yeah, so I've got Colby Chaos Covington to win this fight by decision. Plus 250 on Bet River Sportsbook. Got a half unit on that. I'm not terribly confident about it. Just because, when you're the challenger, you really do have to win dominantly in order to get that scorecard decision. It's got to be like a Strickland over Adesanya type of performance, because we saw Colby in the second Usman fight. That fight was a coin flip. I mean, it really was. But Usman had the bigger moments. But that, in that second round when Usman had the big moments, the other 4 rounds, they're coin flips. He's going tit for tat with this dude. But the champion gets those rounds, gets those close rounds. So Colby's going to have to fight like he fought versus, Masvidal. And that was a brilliant performance, because he spent it either all the way in or all the way out. And that's what you do. You're all the way out. You wait to counter. When you get that opportunity to counter, you counter with a 3 or 4 punch combination going forward, get your opponent backed up to the fence. His pressure was great. His distance management was great. And his combination punching into his takedown attempts was phenomenal. And you just saw, like Jorge never had. Why do you think Jorge had to jump him at a fucking steakhouse? Because Colby didn't give him a chance to hit him for 25 straight minutes in the cage because of the way that he fights. Leon Edwards is going to hate this fight. He's going to absolutely hate it. He is a low-volume counter striker who really counts on his opponent just standing in front of him and playing that low-volume point-fighting game. Colby will not fucking oblige you in that type of a fight. He's going to come forward. He's going to make it a goddamn nightmare. I think he wins this fight by decision, but he better do it dominantly. Otherwise, Sal D'Amato, Chris Lee, and Derek Clearly are going to put something squarely where the sun doesn't shine for poor Colby.
Monk, go ahead.
Yeah, honestly, I feel almost exactly the same. I'm also on the Colby side. First things first. Brady hit every one of the points that I had, so I like to hear that. Weezy did say Colby decision. I also had split decision. I'm only looked at Bet Online, so that was my mistake. You guys are getting way better numbers. Plus 450 is much, much better than I see the split decision. Plus 300 on Bet Online. So be sure to check out the other books that you have access to. But yeah, I feel the exact same way. This is going to be extremely tough for Edwards. I don't personally believe, I think ring rust could be a thing, but I think it's fighter to fighter dependent. And I don't think it's going to affect Colby Covington. That's just my opinion. His inside the distance work is basically uncomparable with guys not named, Marab, basically. For the most part, I'm a huge stat guy. If you guys don't know, who haven't seen me before on this show, a huge stat guy, and Colby's stats are insanely ridiculous. I know, again, it's been almost 2 years since he fought, so that can be a bit worrisome, but he says he doesn't cut weight. It looks like, you see him in pictures every once in a while. It looks like that's probably true. I think he's hungrier than ever, man. I think the judges are going to come in for some fuckery as well. So I love the Colby decision, love the split decision, and I think Brady said Colby money line as well. According to Bet Online, I think that was like plus 145. If that's what it is right now. I don't know what your guys' lines are, but I don't mind that either. So Colby does. Yeah, we'll see how big the stat is. We'll see if he flops it on the desk like Weezy did earlier in the show. And Colby decisions, baby. Let's go. 5 rounds of a beating. Love him for DraftKings too. If you play DraftKings, had to sneak that in there.
I would love to make an argument against the panel here. I would like just to give the viewers something different, but I can't. So I'm going to add just the 2 things that I can for the Colby decision is because I think Leon's get-up game is underrated. I think a lot of the tape with Leon Edwards when he gets taken down, he's immediately on a wrist, which I love. I love it. He's not trying to fuck around, play jujitsu off his back. Literally the second he's about to go down, he's grabbing the cage. And it's Herb Dean, by the way, in the main event, correct?
It is.
Okay, Herb loves cage grabs. Never penalizes. So, it's there all day to grab the cage and stay up. but he's always on a wrist, which I love that. Like, you see too many guys, they screw around for too long, and then it's like 2-3 minutes of the fight is up. I think Leon can get up and not get pinned down for 4 minutes at a time. I really do. The problem is, if you look at the Usman fights, this is one thing Colby won't do. Weezy talked about like how he uses the striking to get inside. Usman was content to kind of be standing up for a while. Like, he was fine boxing with him for a minute, minute and a half at a time, and then shooting a takedown. And every minute on the feet against Leon Edwards is like strategy. Covington knows this. Covington's not going to sit here and try to strike with him for a whole round. Covington had no problem trying to strike with Usman for rounds because the wrestling was so equal that he's like, I think I'm more powerful. Now, I don't know that he was or he wasn't, but those fights are still, you can go watch those 2 fights back and you can make a case for Covington in both fights 3-2, either one. Covington knows he's not outstriking Leon Edwards here. I know he's low volume, but Edwards' striking is very underrated. It's super technical. It's not just one head kick knockout. The dude's boxing is really, really good. I think we kind of like diminish him a lot because he's bitchy, because he's British, because we won the war 300 years ago. Yeah. Like, there's a lot. Because Davey Boy Smith never worked out. There's a lot of reasons why I think we don't like Leon Edwards. But I think in this kind of fight, you know, minute winner versus moment winner, Leon Edwards isn't a massive moment winner. Edwards is going to win every minute. The only case I could make for Edwards here is like Covington gets 3 minutes of control time in a round and Edwards lands like 2 shots, because this is the new normal with judging now. It's like that minimal amount of like optics versus Colby. But if you look at Colby Covington,
Colby has that ground and pound though too.
If you look at Covington's strike totals, I know the Masvidal one's low, but like 107 against Usman in like a super close competitive decision that he lost. 78 against Woodley. I mean, he outstruck him 2-1. I know Woodley doesn't throw a lot. 143 in the first fight against Usman. 179 against Robbie Lawler. 99 against Dos Anjos. These are like really fucking. I mean, I know Lawler's kind of was a tail end of his career, but like 100 strikes on Dos Anjos is no joke. Like, he's throwing enough volume where I think like at least it's the illusion of looking really, really busy, even if a lot of them are like kind of bullshit. I know what that looked like. A lot of bullshit punches. But yeah, it's hard for me not to pick Colby as well. So we'll see. I think Leon's get-up game is good. It just means if you're playing him in DraftKings, Colby ends up with like 37 takedowns in this fight. He probably wants to break the record that your boy, that Merab set.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
I don't think he's breaking that record, man. He's not 135 pounds.
He's not breaking that record in 5. I mean, he's not breaking. He might need like 9 rounds to do it, but
Merab's lungs go all the way down to his knees.
We are now at my favorite part of the show, guys. Also, 40 of you live right now on a Thursday afternoon. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please go follow Monk, Weezy, and Brady. If you know who I am and you're watching the show, you absolutely know who the 3 of them are. So I don't need to promote even them that much. We are at the Yambag special. If it's your first time watching, shame on you. Watch every week. We are talking about a point deduction. It doesn't have to be a ball shot. It's just more hilarious. If it's that way, it's always funnier. If you're watching this and you disagree, you're wrong and I hate you. You know it's funnier when it happens by a ball shot. I will go last because I have a feeling one of you is going to steal this one from me. So I'm going to have to pivot. How about I start with my co-chair at the Yambag Institute, the one that helped me come up with actual business rules, Uncle Weezy. What do you got?
Yeah, I mean, it is a Southpaw versus Orthodox matchup in the main event, you know, and I mean, obviously it's juice to the tits on DraftKings right now, plus 1,200. But look, Leon Edwards cheats. He's British. Of course he fucking cheats. They cheated in the fucking war. Yeah, I mean, come on, man. We know the War of 1812 was a complete Pearl Harbor job. Let's not joke about
Gorilla
that.
Monsoon.
Yes, man. I mean, no, it was, dude. And and Leon Edwards, I mean, like he's grabbing he actually got a point deducted versus Usman the second time around because of cage grabbing. And Colby's gonna be wrestling the hell out of him. These guys are gonna be poking each other in the eye. We saw Kamaru Usman get away with a bunch of cheating against Colby, and like the judges seem to like to let that go, but he's going to be a lot more vocal about that. Yeah, I think that the main event is the obvious one. this week, and they got it at plus 1,200. If it was at plus 2,000 like the rest of them, it would be a much easier bet. But plus 1,200
on
might be a
DraftKings?
little bit. Yeah, they moved it, dude.
What the? Hey,
yeah,
DraftKings, assholes.
Yeah. Come on, man. You know, they know. And,
They know.
Southpaw versus Orthodox 5-round fight, most likely to go to decision. Going to be a ton of wrestling and going to be a ton of cheating because it's a Leon Scott fight.
Confirmed. DraftKings.
It should be like 3-1.
They watch the program. Brady, what do you got for this one?
Yeah, so when I'm doing my research and looking for yambags, I look for two things. The first thing I look for is cheaters, like Kennedy Nzechukwu. He cheats a lot. Or I look for like the most hilarious fight on the card. So Weezy nailed it. The cheater on this card is Leon Edwards. The most hilarious fight on this card, yes, Monk, is Martin Budai going against Shamil Gaziev. It's hilarious. Gaziev has like 2 minutes of cardio. I can see cheating. I mean, when guys get tired, they tend to cheat. And this guy, to me, he just looks like a cheater. I mean, this guy looks like a cheater to me. So I could see.
Why do you have that ready?
It's my wallpaper. So yeah, I like it.
Wait, did that replace the Romanov video, the workout
replaced
video?
Kim Winslow.
It may have.
Like, we have 2 weeks left till the year's over. Did this just take over for most inspiring image video of the year for you? Is this making a late charge?
It might make a late charge. We'll see.
If he wins, does he win the award?
Automatically, yes.
All right, Monk, what do you got for Yam? The way you set that up, Brady, I thought you were going to take mine, but you didn't. So go ahead, Monk.
Okay.
Oh, he took mine. I had, obviously it's the main event. The English are dirty cheaters. Leon's cheated several times, whether it's one of the first fights of his career, illegal knee. I mean, who does that? Who are you? Peter Yan? Come on, brother. Then we had the fights, the eye poke, obviously, Bilal Muhammad, everyone's favorite fighter. Never have I seen a guy get poked in the eye that badly and get hated on online for it. That's how dirty of a cheater Leon Edwards is. Majority decision, like you said, in that Kamaru as well. So that's a good one. Southpaw, of course, Lou, working with you for so long, that is the number one thing you look for when you're at the Yambag Institute. That's the number one thing my professor taught me anyways, was Orthodox versus Southpaw. The second thing, and Brady obviously graduated with high marks as well, because he mentioned it, the sloppiness of the fight. And like I already mentioned, the super sloppy jelly-like way Martin Budai is going to take the back on Shamil. Before that happens, Shamil might just literally grab his dick and twist it. We might actually see that happen if he's that gassed. So yeah, I love both of those fights. Specifically, the plus 1,200 is insane. DraftKings, you better shape up. Give us the plus 2,000. We deserve it. But otherwise, if you want the real plus 2,000, get on the Budai Gaziev, because you don't have as long for Yambags to happen, but it's more likely to happen, I think, for sure.
All right. So, I know that we have business logic we apply with Southpaw Orthodox and this. And then Brady said my second part, sometimes you just see a fight and you think it's hilarious and you have to do it. Well, I saw a fight and I thought it was hilarious and I have to do it. We haven't talked about this one at all. And it's Patty Pimblett and Tony Ferguson.
Oh, yeah.
Because this is a fight that I believe you said it, Brady, should not have been sanctioned, should not be happening. Tony Ferguson is going to have David Goggins yelling all sorts of weird fucking shit, like at cage side, like all sorts of shit. Honestly, I think Patty steamrolls him in a very professional way. I think this becomes like him kind of getting his rep back from this last fight. I think he just goes in and absolutely steamrolls Tony Ferguson. I will say this too. Big Steve was in here before. Big Steve made a very, very good case for the Ferguson-Diaz fight being fixed. Very, very, very good case for it. I highly recommend listening to him. It was super interesting the way he broke down some things in that fight that aren't standard. Highest recommendation. And he's funny about it because Steve's a pretty funny dude. But I look at this fight and there's two things that I like here. Patty is still kind of rounding into his form. He does go for takedowns, and he likes to go for takedowns by getting people against the cage, like the Gordon fight. The what's the dude, the Torker's name? I can't. The Jordan, that guy, yeah. Him. That's horrible. I'm not a professional right now. But like every one of those takedowns, he's trying to get him back, gets cage. So now the fence grabs are in play. Big brain info wars. That's funny. Also, like you look at Tony Ferguson and like if there's one dude on this roster that loves punting people in the cock, it's this guy. Like randomly, be like he'd do that to his friends and be like, "Oh, you know what's funny? Wham!" Like at the bar, be like, "Oh, that wasn't funny, dude." No, you just literally like wound up and punted me in the dick. No, it's not funny. I think it's funny. I could see this like it's a meme fight. And as such, deserves a meme bet. So I don't really have any logic past that. But yeah, I didn't want to go with the main event. And I didn't want to go with Budai Shamil because I've had a feeling somebody was going to take that one. Other than that on this card, I don't really see a lot of other could Mitchell get a point deduction for being too like Catholic-y? Is that a
That's the other one I was thinking was the Mitchell fight somehow.
Oh.
He'll start speaking in tongues and then something will happen and the ref will have to take a point.
I just wonder, but anyway, that's what we got. That's the
if
show.
There's anyone that's going to speak in tongues on this card, it's absolutely Tony Ferguson. I'm sorry.
And
it wouldn't surprise me at all if that guy got on the mic like after he lost and was just speaking in a language that was even less understandable than Patty Pimblett's.
Want to see my lizard?
That's the greatest thing ever. I want to end this on a shout out to my guy John Kelly, friend of all of ours, one of the more respected guys. John Kelly in his write-ups this week decided he's just gonna go a little. John Kelly's usually pretty straight and narrow when he does his write-ups. Like he's pretty, and then he's like, I don't give a shit anymore. And he goes, he's like, this is a direct quote from a site. There might be people out there this week that will talk themselves into Ferguson being a live underdog for the simple fact they dislike Pimblett. These people are no fun. Do not be one of these people. This is from John Kelly, who never said shit like this. And I'm like, oh, that's tremendous. Like John's even like, and I watched his video and he's like, he's that meme, right. the shake your head meme.
So Dave Mason, Bet Online, the guy, posted a tweet. He said the bet count so far, the second most bet fighter on the card is Tony Ferguson.
No, yeah, that's the amount of bets.
Wow. Yeah, the amount of bets.
But the handle, I saw that tweet, but the handle isn't it like second Pimblett in terms of
seconds Pimblett, yeah.
Right. Well, whenever you see a split like that, it's like
all
those $10 bets out there.
Yeah.
Like we were talking yesterday, like why is the Lipsky line not moving if all like the sharps are on Lipsky? It's like, well, all those $10 parlays of Casey O'Neill are keeping it right where it is. Like all the Johnny K picks parlays are keeping it. My guy Johnny.
Shout out Johnny.
All right, let's do the advertising and get the fuck out of here. Monk, I'll save you for last so you can just do my job.
Oh.
Weezy, tell the people where you were this week and what to look forward to in 2024. How about that? Because I know you're working on some cool shit.
Yeah, I am. There's some really good. I want to kind of get into these new markets. The prize picks and underdog markets because we've seen these lines in the betting markets get a lot sharper. The guys that we used to be able to get at minus 250 are opening at minus 500 and running to minus 800. Like if you want to bet Shavkat this week, I mean, you're paying minus 700, so a lot of times, we might be able to find some edges in some of the lesser played markets, which are the significant strike markets, the takedown markets, the fantasy score markets, and in DFS as well. So I'm building some new products. I've got 2 of the 3 done already, and I'll be working on the 3rd and finishing it during the time off and starting a Patreon that kind of produces content towards some of these less played markets so that we can kind of try to find these edges while they're still there. And believe me, when we have all the data, we can find those edges because we're already doing it in the other markets. So really looking forward to debuting that next year. You can find me on my YouTube channel, Uncle Weezy. You can find me here on the MMA Engine YouTube channel. You can find me on Pub Sports Radio doing shows with my guy DFS by the Numbers 3 different times every week. So it's great that we had a nice 2023, but I'm looking forward to an even better 2024 with all of you guys. Thank you for supporting our channels. Thank you for supporting our content. And we appreciate all you guys because without you guys, we'd just be talking to the ether here and nobody wants to hear that.
And even though we're not going to be on air till January, I would like to wish Weezy a super, super early happy birthday.
Thank you.
From New Year's Day.
That'll be 50, my friend. That'll be the 50th birthday.
Dude,
Uncle
stop.
Weezy.
Hold on, stop. Because the last 2 years, you're like, I think I'm this old.
Yeah,
and people don't laugh at that. I get that. I understand that completely. I'm like, fuck, I'm this old. I'm like, nah. I'm like still typing in 43 on some forums. I'm like, how shit, I'm 46. So I forget. I get it. It seems inconceivable to people in their 20s. It's like, trust me. I think we just want to forget. But 50's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
50 Weezys. And you said, and it wasn't me that said Pearl Harbor job on the air. It was you. So like, I feel good.
Right?
I feel kind of weirdly good. Brady, tell the people what you got coming up, including a very special show that I'm interested in on Saturday.
Yeah, this week's a big week for content. Obviously, this show, which I was really looking forward to, especially doing it with you guys, 3 of my favorite guys in the community. So that was fun. This was fun. Yeah, my Friday live stream for the final thoughts at 4. I'm gonna do 2 best bet shows this week because we have 7 guys still to go. So on Friday, looking to get Weezy, Johnny K, and then maybe Addicted to Comment Patrick might come on for one more show. And then on Saturday, it's going to be Lou, Blood Money, and hopefully Narcos. So 2 best bet shows this week, tons of content, and looking to end the year with a bang for 2023.
Well, hold on. You're underselling this a little bit because like this is no disrespect to Narco. But Cody and I are wired.
Neck.
What's the difference? A unit?
Less than a unit.
So this is for the title. Like Cody and I are for the title. Like heads up. And I was going to price his right him if I was up 10 units. Now I can't do that. So Cody, if you watch this, like I wish you the best, but not really.
0.62 units away.
Oh, wow.
Him and I have both hit a plus 2,000 prop this year too. So like it's good that it's coming down to like that. But Cody, not really. Like good luck. Lose by a little bit. So, and Narco is the man. Like, there's no disrespect to Narco. It's just that the competition is now like, we're like right here. So it's like, you know what I mean? If Narco comes in and starts just fucking hitting 20 to 1s and steals it.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
I'm flying to Arizona. Like it's on site, as the kids say. It's on fleek. Monk, tell the people what you're doing in a few hours.
Well, excuse me. Goodness gracious, like I was not ready to talk there. We've got Monk and Lou's happy hour coming up 11 Central, 12 Eastern tonight, where we're going to break down all used to be 14, now it's 13 fights. Very much looking forward to the last happy hour of the year with my guy Lou Betya. Loved doing this show, was looking forward to it for several weeks now. When you told me about it about a month ago or so, I've been looking forward to it ever since. 2024, I'm still bringing the game theory. We're doing the DFS, but I'd like to do more gambling content. Definitely, like Weezy said, check out the Underdog and the Prize Pick stuff for sure. So yeah, I'm going to be branching out quite a bit. I want to be the first person ever to put a number on a fighter's cardio. So I'm going to spend the next 3-4 weeks gathering all of the round by round data from every fight ever, basically. So that's what I'm going to be doing, is staring at spreadsheets. I might be mad by the end of it, but hopefully it pays off. So yeah, I got a lot coming up for 2024. Looking forward to it. And looking forward to working with these guys more as well. Thank you very much, Lou. I appreciate it.
Awesome things to hear. You can find me on Twitter saying stupid shit every day. I'm like a parody account. I'm just parodying myself. So it's not like I can't get in trouble for that. So I may have, this is my announcement that I never said I was making. So I may have a producer for next year. He will work for very cheap or free, depending on how the threats of physical violence go. But I want to start doing early week breakdowns. I have an idea for a show just called The Question, where all I'm going to do, I'm not going to give an official pick for each fight, but it's more an insight into my process to like, what's the most important question to ask yourself going in this fight? Like, for instance, like with Rosa Aldana, most important question is, at this price, can you trust Rosa to actually go for takedowns? I'm saying it'll be more technical than me just saying that. But I think there's certain fights you have to ask yourself, like, what's the starting point question to cap a fight? Because the answer to that starts leading you to how to approach the rest of it. So I just think it's another concept. I love if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I have 2 brilliant minds. I have like 17 ideas, put away. So like that doesn't work, whatever. But I have somebody who wants to help me edit these videos, make them look better. Maybe I can remove the dead body that's behind me finally, that's stinking up the joint. And it should be a good year. So we're all ending good. Guys, if you're watching, let's win all the money this weekend. And go New Mexico State. That's my one college bet I will give you for Saturday. New Mexico State -3.5. See you guys soon. Good luck. Protect your bags. Take care.
Soup.